indicated that to all the parties. Okay, well, if you're ready. Good morning. Today is February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. 2024, and the time is now 9:01 a.m. I'm Kevin Day, Chair of the Custer County Board of Commissioners. I will call this meeting to order. And if you have your cell phones, if you could please silence them at this time, I'd appreciate that. Morning, sir.
Have a chair.
Thank you, sir. You have a short chair today, but we're working on a taller one.
Yeah, you just changed the desk frame, that's all.
You like the new motif?
Yes.
Uh,
You in court today?
and would you be willing to lead us in the pledge, ma'am?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Virginia. And if you join me for the invocation, please. Our Heavenly Father, we come before you this morning, Lord, and we thank you for this beautiful day that you've given us. We thank you for your creation, and we thank you for your wisdom, for your direction, for your guidance. We ask that you would give that to us today as we meet here to take care of the business of the county. We just ask for your direction and your guidance. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Kelly, could we get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Day,
Present.
Commissioner Kanda.
Here.
Commissioner F,
Present.
County Attorney Dan Slater,
Here.
and Clerk to the Board Kelly Camper present.
All right. And audience introductions. We'll start with you, Brad.
Brad Halsley, Custer County Coroner.
Rich Smith, Custer Sheriff.
James Gilbert.
Virginia Trujillo Treasurer.
Reggie.
Ed Foster Extension, sorry.
Jim Chaplin.
All right. And we have a couple of people online. Looks like we've got the landfill, Deb Adams, Debbie, Nadine Peterson, and a 303 exchange phone number. So,
You got Nikita. She just came.
oh,
Nikita Phillips.
all right. And if anybody goes to speak later, if they could identify themselves for the record, that would be greatly appreciated as well. Any amendments to the agenda?
None from me.
Yeah, let's, finance and HR, we're gonna split out. And we'll start that, the end of the last meeting of this month, so the 29th. And then, move finance right next to IT, because the same guy is gonna give both those reports,
So move finance down to IT.
yeah, before or after, it doesn't matter. And HR, he'll introduce himself to the audience, the end of the month meetings.
Okay, so scratch him. I'll move this down to here. We have just a written report from Road and Bridge. Do you want to leave it at the first, or do you want to do it at the, after our in-person?
We can just read it. It's okay. They can leave it where it is.
Yeah, we can do that. And recycling is gonna be the same thing. We got a written report. And I'll go through that. That is volunteer day at the recycling center, so it's harder for Tim to get away. So
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. We had minutes for January 24th, January 31st, and February 7th.
I move we accept the minutes as written. For January 24th, 31st, and the February 7th minutes.
I would second that motion. Any discussion on those?
No, sir.
Those in favor of approving the minutes for January 24th, 31st, and February 7th, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. That motion carries. You were worried there for a second.
It's such and such a routine.
Commissioner items, Commissioner
So the mold, remediation company came, pulled out everything they needed to in the basement, cleaned up what they could see, what they could find, ran a filtering system down there, and we took another test late last week, and we're still waiting the results of that to see where we're at. It does look like we got the roof repaired, so there's no more water dropping in there. We're gonna do another patch today or tomorrow when it gets warmed up and that asphalt gets heated up, and then we're gonna do another patch up there over the top of it. We went below it and patched it all up. Now we're gonna lay one over the top of where that, I don't know, is a 1 to 2 foot slice up there. It was hard to see, so we'll see if that stops the water infiltration in that area and down to the basement. So,
Coming down on the inside, you said before.
yeah, it is, yeah.
On the inside.
Some of it's coming down on the inside, but it's like it's floating through the brick. Some of it's pouring out of the brick where the mortar's damaged, and others is just flowing straight down into that room, so. We did hire an HR guy. So he's started Monday. So he's making his rounds, getting introduced to people. And starting diving into all the information we already had, so. Starting to look through that and starting to reach out to people. And his name's Robert Smith, so HR manager, Robert Smith, so. or
Goes
HR
by
manager.
Bob.
But goes by Bob, yep, it's true. And I made the coffee for Bill this morning. So.
Very good. And as a team member, I'm drinking it.
I appreciate that, because that spot sat there and burned. There's no more coffee making, just to let you know.
and on Bob, I guess,
So tell me if you're not gonna show up to a meeting.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody
Nobody
comes.
makes coffee, nobody drinks.
So the next 2
Nobody
weeks,
drinks here,
right?
and just as a quick note, on the email he sent out to us and probably to, I know all the department heads,
You sent it to
he
everybody.
does have the standard Custer County email. It's Robert at Custer County. So just a note on that. So don't send it to HR at, and send it to Robert. Commissioner Ken.
Yeah, I'd like to welcome Bob here, Bob Smith, but he's a professional. He's got experience in all kinds of county government, city government, state experience, HR. And not only that, if you get tired of ACE, you can go to True Value in Canyon. He owns that. The family, they invested in it a long time ago. But he's a great guy, a professional, and man, am I glad he's here.
Yeah.
And as the managing commissioner for HR, I'm really glad, because now we've got and he's in an office. The office is behind that door to the left. So, and thanks for getting the stuff painted and everything, Lucas.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Everybody liked the color. We don't.
It's very calming.
Good.
We're-
It's
we
nice.
may go with gray later.
It's nice.
You think it's common? It's cool.
It is. It's a nice color.
All right, the other things I have besides that, you get a chance to see Bob, talk to him. He's great. Thin Air, I talked with them several times, and Thin Air communications on the TV towers. Progress is being made. Systems have been bought for everything. They are in manufacturing to tailor to the frequencies and stuff that we've got. They'll start installing those in the building as soon as they are received and bench checked. So that's gonna be a few weeks yet before they get around to starting that, and I'll know the details on that later. Plan is put it in the building as is, don't worry about the air conditioning because it's cool.
Okay.
And then they are gonna be building the cabinet, and once they get an idea on the cost, we'll know the cost of that cabinet. We said it's gonna $2,000, not a lot. We'll get the details on it and then they'll install that in May, June timeframe to make sure the air conditioning and heaters are working.
Okay.
Also, the airport board had a meeting we did with them and they have a new board member. Al Avenue is stepping down. He's a member ex officio now, non-voting, but he's going to continue to work. He's their capital improvement guy. He's going to continue doing that with ideas and things Al is. But they found a good guy that's used to work. I mentioned it in a different meeting, but for the public that hadn't heard that, he was working for the fire department for a while. And he is a Rebello, I think's his name. I don't have his name written down. Anyway, he's a former FAA tower chief, traffic controller, Denver. Then he became a regional tower chief, and then which included 3,500 people working for him, all with FAA. Very knowledgeable, a great asset to the airport to have. I mean, he is top drawer. So he's been nominated. They're going to present it to us to take a look at and agree or not. We'll see how he is. And also the tank, fuel tank was ordered. So that's in work. That's the highlights of the airport. And I think that's it for now. Oh, and we did have and it's important for everybody to know, we are working finance companies today, and yesterday we had meetings, closed meetings to discuss costs for the support to help with our audit problems.
For accounting contractors.
Yeah, and the company, that's right, for accounting contractors to come in and work on the audit issues. Meanwhile, we did have the selection panel at the HR or finance selection panel met. We had 6 applications that they reviewed, and they got a new one that came in yesterday, you said, Lucas?
I believe it was yesterday.
So they hadn't been evaluated yet. So I got Bob working on those. We'll see what that one, we'll get the panel on it and any others that come in the meantime. Once that's done, then let's take a look at them and then we'll decide if we're going to continue searching. And if we do, the recommendation from that group was we probably ought to raise the salary range. We'll have to discuss that, and we've talked about a little bit. The spread right now is, what is it?
65
to 90, something. You may have to bring the upper end up, but we'll discuss that depending on other applications. So, and we're meeting today with the second company this afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I have.
Couple things here. A couple of us made it to the Veterans Connect meeting the other day. Mount Carmel, I think, they're a good addition. They're the ones that are supporting Christie over here in the Veterans Office. And so that she can take care of the emergent needs for the veterans, and while Dominic concentrates on the benefits part for the long term on these gentlemen, but they also are sending out, they work with other outside people as far as therapy and things of that nature. I think that was another good meeting. They continue to keep everybody engaged. Vermont, I believe that Matt went up there yesterday with the HVAC guy. I don't know what they determined yesterday on that. I don't know if you heard anything from Matt.
So that's still, that old unit still has the R22. It's a early 90s model. And he's gonna go out and try to get a couple more bids on that. And then try to find a generator contractor that's willing to come up there and give us a price on a new one.
Okay. Good enough then. And so on the AC unit, it's gonna be for R&R on that, or for trying to rejuvenate that one?
No, probably a replacement,
Replacement.
full replace, yeah.
Okay. And then the final thing, I did meet with the SRDS the other day, and for our weed situation, our weed board situation. Throughout that conversation, one of the things that came forth out of that was that towards the end, it was discussed that possibly they would be willing to, if we were in agreement, to act as our weed board.
Okay.
But we would need to furnish a certified sprayer and, for that. And it was suggested that it would be somebody out of Road and Bridge. Road and Bridge used to have a couple of certified sprayers.
Okay.
But we need to have certified sprayers to even be able to come up with the spray and everything of that nature. So I told them I would mention that to you gentlemen here as well. Might be a good solution. And, we also, it was brought up, let me get my notes here so I don't misspeak. That the, I'm looking for it here. The past grant that, through them, I believe the county match on that is $4,000. You'll have to forgive me, I'm not up on exactly what that past grant is. I might look to the back of the room, but do you know anything about that, Reggie? On the past grant?
I do not.
Okay, I just thought I'd throw you under the bus there since you
Yeah,
were here
thanks. I
and,
appreciate that.
so, but, that is, through the SRDS on that, so I will try to get more information on that. I don't think we addressed that when we did the budget.
No, we didn't. But if we get a grant, we'll just add a revenue line and an expense line.
Okay.
So we'll do a budget amendment resolution to put in.
And I believe that's all I have under my items today. Dan, do you have anything?
I do not.
Kelly?
No, sir.
All right. That will take us to the elected official reports. Rich, you would be up first, sir.
Morning. See you, Rich. Yes, sir.
Well, start off with some important statistics. Our sheriff's office started the year last year with half our normal staff because some people left. And right now we're actually +1. We have 0 people on light duty. And throughout the year last year, we had up to 3 different people on light duty. Our posse did, actually, I'll go to the crime data first. And so as you can see, reported crimes are continuing a trend down, and cleared by arrest is actually increasing. So less crimes are happening, and the crimes that are happening, we're solving more of those. Our arrests for adults and juveniles are down. Our DUI arrests went down last year, but they've started to creep up this year. Our car crash reports are way down. And in the year 2022, we had the highest per capita fatal car crash rate in the state. And that was a bad year. We had 5 deaths. And then last year, unfortunately, no deaths. The deputies are also making less traffic stops, but issuing more more tickets. And I think a big reason that the crime is going down is visibility. And so I hope that you guys have seen that in your respective areas of the county. And one way we were able to accomplish that is with our all volunteer posse. And last year, the posse dedicated an incredible 6,922 hours to the community. And most of that time was spent doing proactive work, and that's where they're helping patrol the school. They do foot patrols in town, and then we started a new thing called county patrols, where they drive every drivable road in the county. And I think someone had said we have like roughly 800 miles of county roads. Is that right? Does that sound right? Somewhere in there. And so we've driven all of those roads multiple times. And I think that that's been a good thing for us to help deter crime.
Yeah, I mentioned that to you the other day. Saw a pair of them out our way. Then I was down the Oak Creek grade and I saw them again. And then I was up over in Rosita. Then I saw them again.
Good.
All the same day.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And it is, their visibility is making a difference.
And then, of
Maybe they
course,
were
the day.
following you.
Maybe they were after me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a picture of you.
I did see that red light. I didn't know what it was.
Full surveillance.
But the day of the shooting, that we actually had two of those gentlemen out working, and they were an instant force multiplier, and they were able to go to the office, and we have some bulletproof shields and a bulletproof blanket, which you drape over a car and bring those out to the deputies.
Actually, I did see him come in the restaurant too.
Good, good.
They took a
No,
break.
and we're doing, and in fact, I didn't have that number. I should have printed it off, but we did a lot more bar checks. And so in the past, we've had some issues at some bars, where things get out of hand. And so one of the bar owners actually came to us and asked us, would you come in and do bar checks? And we checked with several of the bars. And so we've been able to do that. So the deputy walks in, says hi, looks over at the bartender, they give him a thumbs up, or they kind of, oh yeah, we've got a problem. And if they have a problem, the deputy could kind of hang out and figure out what's going on in there. So it's been a good partnership for us. Another area that we were super successful in last year is training. And so in the year 2021, the sheriff's office was actually suspended by the state post board, which oversees law enforcement, because we didn't achieve the minimum amount of training for all officers. And I'm kind of embarrassed to say, because I am a proponent of small government, but the state requires a minimum of 30 seconds of training per week, or 24 total hours of training per year, which just is not enough in this day and age to keep up with the legislation changes and best practices and things. And so last year in 2022, the staff took a combined total of 632 hours. So we all met and well exceeded the minimum thing. And then that was in 2022. And then in 2023, we increased that number from 600 to 2,600. So a significant investment in training. And so some of those trainings are online. There's a special law enforcement portal that you go into and watch training, but a lot of that's been in person. And so we're actually bringing in a psychologist this month to do a training for the guys. And we've sent several people to trainings around the state.
Were you able to use all that post certification training to add to those hours, or?
Oh, yes, yes,
So
yep,
one of the
that's
things we
included
used
in
to
there.
do that often.
Yep. And then I had been asked in the community how many posse members we have, and we have 20. My goal is to hit 25, and we've actually have 3 applications in progress. So I hope that we can get that done soon. We tried to do some kind of coffee with a cop thing, and our next one scheduled is Wednesday, February 21st from 8 to 10 at Sugar Lump. And this is actually gonna be different because the Mayor Westcliff will be there with us meeting. And we're gonna try to do one in Silver Cliff the month after, and it's gonna be called Taco with a Cop. And the mayor of Silver Cliff is interested in attending that was at Fort Kings. I did have I have several questions for the commissioner. One is that in the recent past, you guys had asked us to assign a deputy to attend the county commissioner meetings, which I'm happy to do. And is that something you want to continue? Especially now that you have them scheduled more frequently. I don't know if you think that's a good idea, but you guys can think about that and let me know yes or no. But this is Brian King. And then Brian actually just attended a training this week on Monday and went to another rural county. Which one was it? Otero County, which has a similar setup to us, where the county offices and the courthouse are in the same building. And so we're looking for best practices so we can bring back here for our court people. And then one other goal that we had is we used to have a victim interview room here and you guys kicked us out. And so we were able to lease a room here in town, and it's turned out to be a really good idea for us. It's a very nice, quiet spot that we can enter victims of a crime. And if we don't have this special room to go to, you know, we do it at the round table at the sheriff's office, and there's just, you know, people coming and going and sex offenders coming in, getting fingerprint and different things. And so this is at a remote area. It's we painted the walls a calming color also. And we got the state Vail grant to pay for the first 6 months of this year. And I think we'll have that extended through the end of the year. And
Where'd you say it was?
at the Minnequa Credit Union,
Oh, the
which
old
is one of
building.
the
Yeah, I
title.
see, it looks like it's for sale.
So they're leasing some individual offices in there, and we were fortunate to get one of those. If we have a victim of a sex crime or child sex crime, there's a process that we go through called a forensic interview. And the vendor that we use for that is in Canyon City, and they're up kind of on the north end of town by the hospital. So if you can imagine, we're having to take a traumatized victim or child victim all the way to Canyon City to get it done there. And they videotape it, and there's a legal process that we go through, but I don't want to do that. So I would rather do that here. And so the vendor that provides that service is willing to come up now to use this room so we can kind of get everything done quickly and locally.
And private.
And privately, yeah. Most importantly, privately. Our arrest numbers, I have those, and so we currently have 2 people in jail. One is the murder suspect and one is a domestic violence suspect. And so we're good on our housing prisoner budget. The second thing I wanted to ask you guys is we had scheduled previously this month for you guys to tour the Fremont County Jail. And we had to cancel because it was a bad weather day, but I will set a new one up if you guys like tell me what day of the week is best for you. I could get a
Yeah,
couple
after
dates.
the 2nd of March.
Okay, after the second.
Would be
Perfect.
anything, whatever works with everybody. I
Yeah,
can't do
probably a Wednesday afternoon would be best, kind of after this meeting.
Okay, on a Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, probably well, it might be
do it after
good
the
to do it
Wetmore
after a
meeting,
Wetmore
and then
one
we can
since
just
we're
drive
already
over.
down. So
Yeah, when is the wet one meeting?
Third Wednesday.
Third Wednesday.
Third Wednesday. Okay, that's what I'll shoot for next month.
Yeah, let's try to get it done in March before we get really.
And then we've used Everbridge several times here in the last month or two, and some of those were during a winter event, and the messages came from Road and Bridge. And so our emergency manager asked us to meet with the Fremont emergency manager, who's been a very good partner of us. And so we set a meeting up, we all went down, but then she couldn't come to talk about what they do on Everbridge. And the gentleman who's the emergency manager there, his name is Michael Kroll, really good guy. And so I asked him if on the day of the jail, if I could take you guys to their emergency operations center to see how that's set up. So if you guys are willing to look at that, I think it'd be a good 2 birds with 1 stone. And I think I covered everything. Someone asked me what role the sheriff's office would play if a illegal alien or refugee from across the border ended up in Custer County or got dropped off by a bus here. And the specific question they asked me was, would that violate the Colorado human trafficking statute? So I looked into that, and it would not do that. I have been meeting with the other sheriffs and got some numbers from the Denver emergency manager, but they're averaging they house 5,000 of those individuals kind of on a daily basis, and they've had a total of 40,000 bust in to Denver. Denver anticipates paying $180 million, the city of Denver next year to fund that program. And they're doing that by cutting a lot of department budgets by 15% to get the extra money. And so I have some other numbers there, but so far it hadn't come up.
The scary thing they're doing, they got Lakewood, they asked them they build a center called a navigation center for 100 beds to help them. But that's it, that's going into another jurisdiction, and that raised a lot of trouble. I mean, and the citizens just like this coming in and saying, it's our money. We can't do that. We can't afford it. So that's an issue.
So I talked to the gentleman who runs the Denver effort, and he was on a video conference with the sheriffs. And he said that if someone comes to Denver, they'll bus them or fly them wherever they want to go just to get them out of the city, which includes small towns in Colorado. So then I asked, do you give us some kind of warning before you show up? And he's like, no.
Yeah, no.
And so then I asked how long it takes to get the work visa. And if they, and I'm not an expert on this, but if you're coming to the country and you make a reservation on some kind of an app and you check in at the border, that expedites the progress and you can get your work permit very quickly. But if you don't do that, and most people don't, it can take years to do that. So we're actually getting intel that cartel marijuana grow operations are going to Denver to seek those workers to bring them out to rural Colorado to run illegal grow operations because they really have no other options for a job. Any other questions? Oh, I do want to commend the county attorney. He's
Holy smokes.
That's all right.
you've been instrumental in, providing us legal advice over the last few months. Sometimes we needed to get handled, and so I appreciate your input with it.
Good job, thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for looking into that.
Thank you.
Virginia.
Yeah.
Good morning.
You want one?
Looks like you only have one left.
You can have that one. I've got the one I'm gonna sign.
Oh, okay, I don't.
Okay.
Follow along.
She gives me two, so I don't accidentally mark up the one that needs the signatures.
So for the record, what did you hand us for?
I handed a monthly treasurer's report from 12/1/23 to 12/31/23.
And it looks like things are starting to add up because we started with $5,717 roughly. Ended with 8,000,004. Big input. So the balance for that month, 12/1 through the end of December, was $8,297,857.23. No issues.
Not that I know of.
Not you. Yeah.
The old question used to be any anomalies, right? And no brackets in the back, and the numbers should not match from beginning to end.
So when we see, just a quick question, fire district, for example, it's got a sanitation district too. Both of them had zero balances
Mhm.
to start with, and they ended up with zero.
That's because we dispersed it.
Dispersed it out to
Mhm.
them, right? Same with the other.
Yep. There is one thing that we need to take care of. I talked to the auditors last year, the health insurance, 5,476.12. That's an account that we used to use in the old days, ACS. What used to happen is we would get the checks from the entities, receipt them, and then we would pay the insurance. Well, CIC pulls it automatically from their checks, takes it to a line item and pays it out that way. I no longer need this line. So they suggested, he said, probably need to move that money to county general. And that would be
The
an action.
5,476 that's left over.
Yeah.
56.
So,
That's a good idea.
transfer for you guys to move it to county general is
We
in
can put
order
that on-
whenever.
Yeah, we can put that on the next week's agenda probably.
I keep forgetting to tell you about that.
And then, so now then would we carry that line item through to the end of the year? Just
Probably
zero
just to
balance,
finish it out.
just,
Yeah, and then kill it at the end of the year.
Okay. Any other questions or anything, gentlemen?
I move we accept Virginia's reports. For the month of December, final balance of $8,297,000 and $297,857.23.
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion on the floor to approve the monthly treasury report for the month of December. The final sum of $8,297,857.23. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Right.
Aye, that motion carries. Get rid of my red pen and get a blue pen for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Virginia.
Thank you.
Hey, Brad, you'd like to come up, sir?
Glad to see you, I think.
Yeah, the time you don't see me.
Corn, that's what I worry.
If he's there and you don't know it.
You won't know.
Yeah, I guess.
So, I gave you guys just a yearly count for 2023. Showing, what we had 18 deaths that we had to attend, that were unattended, deaths for us to investigate in the county last year. So, I think that is down a little bit from the previous year. We had, 8 naturals that, I determined were naturals, which is down quite a bit from 22 was, we had 16. And we have 4 accidental deaths, and we had 9 in 22, and 3 homicides, and which is up 2 from 22, and 0 undetermineds. So each of those is listed there for you with a birth and death date, cause, and manner of death. So you can kind of look it over and see what you guys, if you have any questions, but continuing education, which is required by the state of Colorado. I did 80 hours as a coroner, of training in 23. And my deputies did a combined 80 hours of, training for 23 as well. One deputy received a scholarship, which cost the county no dollars to go to June conference. So we received a scholarship to take that one for free. We now have 2 power cots, as you know. 1 in each vehicle. The vehicle we got from VSO has been badged and outfitted with lights. And we donated the old deputy truck for as long as it lasts to the recycling boys to move recycling trailers around. So we gave that to them at no cost. So if you guys have any more questions, I would be glad to answer them.
Citizens to, what's our ratio of citizens to, I don't know, visitors? I don't want to say tourists, because not all of them are probably tourists, but what's resident to non-residents? What's our,
For our death,
yeah,
I would say we probably have 90 to 95% citizens.
Okay.
That we've investigated. Very few came from out of the county. We had 1 suicide come from, Arvada, maybe,
Okay.
somewhere out by Denver, one of the Denver suburbs, came down here and committed suicide. And, outside of that, we didn't have any traffic fatalities this year. So that keeps that down too. So no traffic fatalities for the year, but we did have 3 suicides, which is up, and, 3 homicides, which is up 2. In 22, we had 1. So, and,
The traffic fatalities you had the year before.
in. What'd you say? 5. Yeah, we had 5 in 22. So, yeah, thanks to our efforts, we cut that down.
Motorcycles in there using extreme caution, right?
Yeah, exactly. We did have 1, this year that you could see in here. That was, a motorcycle wreck from,
the Wetmore area, but he died 3 or 4 months later due to complications.
Hmm.
So he died in Denver. But he is on my list because I got the case back. So other than that, we're good to go for this year, and I currently have 5 deputies sworn in. All have completed training and 2 vehicles and pretty well outfitted for supplies and everything for the start of the year, so. And you guys already know we did assist in Penrose. We spent about a week down there helping them. I helped the FBI make notifications out of Colorado Springs. And so we handled 190 cases there, assisting Fremont County. So very unfortunate, but great experience. Great experience in a mass casualty.
A lot
for
of
us.
training there, for sure.
Yeah, which isn't counted in my training that we have for me and the deputies, but we spent a week down there assisting and saw quite a bit and learned quite a bit about mass casualties and how to handle a large event.
Mhm.
So I feel we're pretty well prepared to handle what comes our way. And I elected not to, our donation there, you could call it, was in the hundreds of dollars, not in the thousands of dollars. So I elected not to go through the process of all the hoops to get reimbursed for my time there and all that stuff. I feel it's money in the bank for Custer County, but our friends in neighboring counties all know that we donated there heavily and helped a lot. And if we need help, they will be here for us. So.
That needs to happen.
Yeah.
We'll-
I think it's good. I think it's very good. I think those guys will be here if we need them, all the way from here to Douglas County, and Montrose was there, and all those folks, and yeah, they all know, and if I need them, they'll be here for me. So. All righty.
Thanks, sir.
Good deal,
Thank you,
thanks.
guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Pleasure.
Yep. Thanks.
Have a good day.
You too.
Next would be the road and bridge report.
It's a written report only today. I don't have a problem. He's really been busy with snow removal and mud. And cleaning up the mud off of the equipment.
Talking to Scott the other day too, the frost has gone out of a lot of the roads, so on some of these
Pretty
ones
soft.
now they're actually able to
Smooth the
go
road up.
back in and do some grading and because they don't have water, but they're using the snow for their moisture content, and they're able to do that with the frost out of some of these roads.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point to bring up, Kevin, because you've got it, I've got it. We just had the people complain about the ruts in the road. They're rough, and now I can't do anything until now when it does come out. Vince was good. He responded to all of them and told them that, but you know, it's patience people lose, and just be patient. He's on it now, and he's on it 24 hours a day almost. Team, road and bridge on. I don't have
Any questions on that at all?
No.
No, I think he is looking for one person there. Is that correct?
He's got an out, he had one person leave, and so they are looking. I don't think he's in a big hurry until snow season's gone, and then for this summer is when he's really gonna need him.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, would say.
Good.
All right. Reggie, would you like to come talk to us?
For the first time in weeks, how you feeling? You okay?
I'm better, thank you. I
Glad you're back.
survived. Morning. Morning.
You sound like a little better.
Morning. Happy Valentine's Day to the three most loved individuals in Custer County.
Thank you.
I'm glad there was no sarcasm
If you
with
call
that.
home and ask.
No sarcasm at all.
Hey, these are pretty good.
Aren't they great? These are
Thanks.
the photos
Thanks for that.
from our, is it cake program we did with the
Yeah.
West Custer County Library. This is the first year. They did an amazing job. We had 4 teams participate and good for youth and adults. So I just wanted to show you the
Who's
photos of those.
the chef? This is chef at the school.
No, this was actually
Just
just an event that we did. 4-H partnered with the West Custer County Library and it was open to anybody in the public. You just had to have youth on your team to compete.
Ah.
And so one of our local families won with the cereal bowl. First, let me
I was
show you
gonna
the
say, that
photo.
looks pretty good.
It's
Fruit Loops
good.
in
It's
it.
amazing, isn't it? Taco.
I
they're
wonder
all
how
good.
long it.
Fruit Loops and a cake bowl.
That's right. Yeah.
That sounds great for breakfast.
Yes, that's pretty good. You know,
Come out with a sugar high and.
Say again.
and you know what tastes cake.
Yeah, very, right. It's good. So we're still doing our membership drive. We're up 5 members from the last time I sat in front of you, which is great news. Our membership enrollment is open until the end of March. So we anticipate that number to increase by a few more before we get to the end. We also have a new volunteer who are waiting for all the background checks and that process to clear. And we'll have an additional volunteer as well. So that's fantastic. Working on the wildfire mitigation outreach grant program, working with OEM on that. We started writing that grant. Hope to have it done by the end of next week. Extension was we creating this idea of how we connect to homeowners associations and help them understand wildfire mitigation and how to do it themselves. And so if we start with small groups of people, then it's great for the benefit of the entire county. Robin and I had a discussion. We decided we could partner on that and use our resources. And so we're applying for this grant to make that happen, hopefully, and also begin an ambassador program for the county. I talked to you about the Is It Cake program, shooting sports training. We have mandatory training for all of our shooting sports instructors. That takes place in Pueblo, and it is in 2 weeks, I believe. I didn't put the date on here, but we are sending 2 new volunteer leaders. We'll have a new pistol program this year, which is brand new for our county. We're excited about that. Been trying to get that for a while, and we finally have someone step up who's willing to do that. And we'll also be having someone certified in .22 rifle as well. Saying what else? Oh, is in relation to our shooting sports, the members also have to attend an annual sports safety briefing. We'll be holding that the 25th and 26th of this month, giving them 2 opportunities to attend. Each member enrolled in shooting sports has to attend with a parent, and we go through our safety protocols and they sign a conduct agreement and that kind of thing. So we have that. Record book workshops, the least favorite part of being in 4-H for everyone is having to keep those records. As an adult, I don't like having to do that either, but we help them out every month with a workshop. So we'll be doing that at the end of the month as well. Our local officers, our local clubs have elected their officers for the year. We have a training tomorrow night in Fremont County. We pair with them, combine resources to get, and it's not just for those who have been elected. It is also for anyone who thinks, oh, next year I'm going to be a senior and I might want to. A senior is an age group. It's not a senior like in high school. It's our 14 to 18-year-olds. But hey, I might want to do this. I might want to serve my club in that way. They can also attend just to learn what it's like and what the different positions require.
It's a senior group that fills those officer roles.
Typically, some clubs do have our intermediate students do it as well. You have to be at least a 2nd-year member in 4-H to hold an officer position. And then if we don't have enough seniors, then we go down to our intermediate age kids to fill those slots. Custer County Conservation District, I missed that meeting this month, but Kevin, I believe you attended. I was at the weed conference down in Pueblo. I was able to collect some good information and resources to have in the office to distribute. So still working on helping us solve the problem. I did not solve the issue of getting a weed manager, but I have some new contacts to call and brainstorm.
I'd like to get together with you and meet with you one of these days. What, you wanna let me know when you're available and.
Absolutely. Have a longer discussion on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could.
Sounds good. And the lunch and learn tomorrow, the Conservation District has a lunch and learn tomorrow at Tony's. Pizza from 11:30 to 1:30. And that is open to the community at large. It's specifically focused on the conservation stewardship program. So they'll be giving all the details on that and helping those local farmers and ranch owners who want more information to understand that process.
That's at Tony's.
That's at Tony's tomorrow from 11:30 to 1:30. Okay, so exciting opportunity for our kids. Our South Central District retreat is held at Golden Bell up in Divide, Colorado. That happens every year. This year it's February. It's not, I put February, but it's not February. It's March 15th through 17th. We have 2 district officers in our county. Briley Shy is the secretary, Marin Foster is the district vice president, and Keely Huffman is the secretary for our entire region. So for our small county to provide 3 officers for our South Central District as a whole is a big deal. So they will be re-electing officers for next year at this retreat as well. It's where the officer turnover happens. We typically take about 8 kids to this event, and we expect to have about that many again this year. And that's in March. Then we have our beef weigh-in. Caitlin and I are required to attend the state 4-H conference that lays out all the rules and visions and changes and all that stuff for 4-H for the year. That is happening February 11th, March 11th through 13th as well.
You say you missed it already.
Yeah, I did.
You're way behind.
February, March, sometime
One of those
happening.
months.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you have any questions of me? Concerns?
Nope, good job, thanks.
Yep, you're welcome.
Still working on a van.
Yeah,
So-
by next month, we're gonna either I have to bite the bullet and just buy the insurance for maybe for a month to get us through if we don't solve that problem. But I can have that discussion with you on the side about how we fix that problem.
Okay.
Hard to stick that many in the little car, right?
Well, it's space. We'll have to take 2 vehicles, but then it's the insurance requirement of now of carrying 4-H members in your personal vehicle. So we certainly don't want to have parents transport their kids several hours each way to if we can take them all as a group, that is the hope.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Anything else, gentlemen?
Thanks, sir.
Thanks
Appreciate it.
much.
Thank you. Bye. See you later.
Vernon.
Good morning, everyone.
See you.
Sir?
Well.
Yeah, we were gonna have
Yes,
you
I guess we bring IT down to.
bring IT up to finance instead of the other.
Come back?
Yeah.
Okay. No,
You're here.
When you're gonna speak, you're gonna do both anyway.
Understood.
Yeah, well, I think 2 of us thought we moved it the other direction, so.
I see. I must have missed that part. I apologize. So let's start off with IT. What I've given you right now is basically, we've been having a discussion about having departments and offices present a budget, expense review at their meetings. So I decided to just print these off and start that process. What you see here is a representation of the expenses that we've incurred so far during the year. And it's a very easy report to run. I will work with all of the department heads and admins to make certain that they have access to this and they can print it off for their departments. I think, per just discussions that we've had in the past, I think that 1 month, definitely quarterly would be really important. Basically review everybody's finances and make certain that everybody knows exactly where they're at, just to kind of keep us in the black. So what this report is just a representation of the IT expenses for the year so far. And some of them are going to be moved. It's a simple journal adjustment. For instance, contract labor was paid in this year, but it's actually for 2023. So we're going to move that back to 2023. So it's not, it doesn't stick here in this budget. So, so like I said, really easy report to run. And so it'll be a big benefit for everybody when they're coming and giving their reports, and we know exactly how much money they're spending and where it's going. So for IT.
Yeah, and you're gonna come to the board,
What's up?
three times a year to give us a summary of where we stand on the main budget.
The main budget?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like finance should give definitely quarterly reports outlining the whole budget and showing where
So we can
everybody's
see
at.
where we're spending, and if we
Yep.
need to move money, we'll make recommendations if somebody's
Yes, sir.
having a problem.
I think that would be really beneficial for us all. The quarterly reports and then the year-end reports, just summarizing everything. At that point in time, we'll have a better understanding of next year's budget. So
Yeah.
It'll help us.
And you'll bring the new finance director up to speed when you
Yep.
finally get some
When
vacation time.
when we get somebody in here, I will dedicate a lot of time to just working with them and teaching them the chart of accounts and all of the intricacies of our system. So well, that's a finance. So I'm still in the IT mode. We're in the IT hat. It's a fedora, but that's all right. One of the things that has occurred fairly recently, I had to purchase a new piece of tech for the Tyler safety conversion at the sheriff's office. It was $1,800. It's a new, basically a dedicated IP system that utilizes FirstNet as a communication mode from the sheriff's office to the Tyler servers. We didn't understand this in the very beginning of the process. Lots of departments were caught on this one, but they need a dedicated IP address for strictly Tyler public safety work. So I know a couple of departments down in Fremont were caught with this one because some people only have one IP address. We had two, but one of them is dedicated for the courthouse. The other goes to the sheriff's office and several other departments. So had to get a new piece of tech. I absorbed that into capital outlay because it is a 10-year, it's a device that'll last at least 10 years. So I thought it was appropriate to put that in capital outlay. Just part of that public safety conversion.
It's part of your budget, so. No
Yeah,
issue.
yeah. There's no I'm not having to go outside of funds or anything, so it's absorbed there. The other thing that just happened was, I know last year we had a conversation about, and I know this, Robin brought it up, the OEM brought it up, is that we were apparently just awarded a grant from the state for CrowdStrike, Falcon antivirus software, and state support for cybersecurity. We have been asking about this for about 4 months and received 0 replies. And then this morning, yesterday morning, received an email stating, "Hey, you guys have been awarded these licenses from the
Who sent
state."
in the request, the application? Was it OEM or you?
It was not me. It was not OEM. This actually came down from the state.
They just gave it to us out of clear blue sky, didn't know we needed it or not, whether we wanted it.
Basically, the grant covers 1 year for all cybersecurity for counties in the state. It's
And you
surreal.
pay what, $10,000 a year?
Well, that's the caveat. we use Coro right now. The caveat is that at the middle of this year, we'll have to apply for the grant for next year. And so there's a lot of red flags for me right now.
What was the grant worth? $10,000 or?
So the grant covers all of our cybersecurity work in the county.
Yeah.
If there isn't a monetary grant, it is basically a services grant.
So you
that
charge
came
it
in.
as you need it.
Well, no, it'd be antivirus software on our computers that's why there's a lot of red flags for me, because there's a lot of unknowns in this one. So I'm going to do some research on it. I am not abandoning Coro. Coro is very reasonably priced and they gave us a fantastic discount. Unfortunately, it's a 3-year contract, so I have to do the whole GASB appreciation deal for the auditors.
Yeah.
GASB 96, thank you. But it was a fantastic deal. Falcon CrowdStrike is twice as expensive if we don't get this grant next year. So there's a lot of red flags for me and I'm going to research it. Like I said, we've received zero communication.
Was there a
for the last
requirement
5
you had to
months.
try it?
No, we don't have to do it. We don't have to do it at all. It's coming in from state and emergency management. So like I said, I'm real in the dark on the details. So, but being a grant, being a services grant instead of a monetary grant, I wanted to come to the board and tell you the status of that. Like I said,
CrowdStrike.
it's called CrowdStrike with the Falcon antivirus suite.
So it's basically a grant, but you have to use the software that the state approves.
Yes, sir. And all information goes through the state. Every email, everything, every computer interaction we go through would end up going through the state. So the upside of that is that if there's ever a data breach, for instance, like with Fremont, and Fremont was probably part of the impetus behind this whole thing for all the emergency managers to do this. Excuse me, then the state cybersecurity experts would help us with that process if there was a data breach at that level. Coro is the ones that we use right now is a step below that, but their cybersecurity team is pretty fantastic too. So there's some caveats. I'm going to do some research on it because, like I said, we received zero information for the last 5 months and then suddenly said, okay, here it is. So
And then we have to reapply.
we have to reapply
Every
and
year.
and if we don't, and there's no guarantee that it would be funded. So
Right.
it's like I said, it is one of the most expensive cybersecurity options out there. So we're going to have to do some research and make certain that we're not going to be left holding the bag at the end of this.
What about comparisons between our current and this Falcon?
They are pretty comparable for capabilities and cybersecurity response. The difference being that through the Falcon system, it would be the state cybersecurity experts that helped in the event of a data breach. Whereas with Coro, it would be an in-house assistance for that.
So they're also running server farms then if they're gonna collect all of our emails and store those. I mean, they're
Absolutely.
storing billions full of
There's a breach,
information.
then the whole state goes down.
Well, this is my fear and why I have always believed in compartmentalization. The whole county is compartmentalized in our cybersecurity. If one group is compromised, the rest of the groups stay pretty secure. For instance, and this was actually before the Fremont data breach, which occurred because it was the long game. They did data mining, they did user interface, they hacked people's web cameras, watched passwords, stuff like that. And when Fremont went down, everyone went down because they were not compartmentalized. I believe in compartmentalization and multiple backups so that, like I said, if one goes down, everybody else is secure. And we have backups, we segment them off, restore their backups, and they lose maybe a day or two worth of work and they're in good shape. So that's my philosophy when it comes to cybersecurity. I don't know how Falcon works very much because like I said, zero communication, so. I'll have a better report for you next week, or next month, rather.
Yeah, dig into it. and see what-
Okay. Will do. Will do.
Best or rewards, whatever.
Okay. So then taking off the IT hat, putting on the finance hat. It's been a busy month working through all of the audit adjustments from the 2022 audit, as well as doing all of the year-end audit adjustments from 2023, data that we found that needed to be entered and made certain that everything is cohesive and complete. Excuse me, that's been a huge portion of my work for the last little while. I've been reviewing the chart of accounts that we have, and I actually printed it off. I was mistaken when I said that we had 1,300 accounts. That would be revenue and expense accounts. We actually have closer to 1,900 accounts, which basically relate to our asset lines, our liability lines, and then those revenue expense accounts that people use for, receiving monies and paying out bills. So we're closer to 1,900. But as I've been working with Commissioner Epp, we've created a lot of checklists that we can give to the new finance director, depending on which direction we go, accountant or however that works out, as well as working with HR finance to review certain personnel deals and cost centers where we're pulling people's paychecks from, and insurance and benefits and all that. So it's been exhausting, but I think we're gonna on the other end of this long uphill slog through the mud and the rain, we're gonna be in a good space. So.
And you're currently working on DHS
Yep,
entries.
I'm working on DHS entries for 2023. Yeah.
Any other questions?
No, good. Thank you, Brennan.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all of this. Appreciate it.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
so we're gonna have to adjust some money in the salary line
Okay.
because we're taking it all out of, it's all coming out of IT right now, right?
Yeah, and that's an easy audit adjustment, or excuse me, not an audit adjustment. That's the word that's the word I've been working at. It's an easy, a fund adjustment.
Okay.
No problem.
Yeah, when we need to do that, whether it's after the transition or whenever, maybe we need to do it, we should do it month by month.
I think so.
So-
We can have it sorted out for this pay period,
Okay,
and moving forward, it'll be in the right account.
okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Be well, sir.
Thanks, Brennan.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Dorothy.
Good morning.
Good morning, man. Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
See you.
Good, thanks.
Good morning. So just to get started, we had 8 special conferences this month. A lot of those were the STRs that were coming in, so we've spent a lot of time with each applicant to make sure that we have the correct information, and all of the data that needs to be passed on before that application can be approved. We've had 6 compliance inspections, 1 violation review, did not administer any septic contractor tests. Our septic inspections and site reviews, we were at 6 this month. Permits are down from last year compared to last year. Our septic permits were down 1. We had 5 last year and 4 this year. Our dwelling permits are down 3. So I'm not going to say that our building is slowing down because I'm still getting septic permits coming in at about the same rate as last year. So our non-dwellings were at the same exact amount. We had 11 last year and 11 this year. So our total permits issued down slightly. We had 17 last year as a total in the month of January and 14 this year. I did not attach the financials for you all. I am validating that with the conversion over to the new credit card processing system, that my numbers are correct. Before, my numbers would come directly off of the planning and zoning database, and now it's coming, I'm getting it from a different report. And I want to make sure those match. I thought I would have that for you, but I have not had the time with Delana being out to spend on that particular item, but I will update that when I give you next month's report. I don't see that being an issue. It's just, I want to make sure for myself that the data is correct. Q Public, I have not pressured Vernon by any means to move forward with that. I had a meeting scheduled with Q Public to start the kind of preliminary steps and know what I need to do. But I've rescheduled that so I can spend the time that I need on that when Delana returns. We are posting in the paper on February 22nd, our first edition of the best laid plans from the Planning and Zoning Department. So I have been in contact with the editor, and I will be sending them monthly educational material to post. I have the first 3 months set up. I'm waiting to see if they have National Septic Week in May before I go any further than that. But a lot of information going to go out to the community to kind of start some preliminary education. Hopefully it's helpful to everyone. Trying to come up with questions that we get most often and maybe do a question and answer update as well.
You can put it online too, Brian?
I'm sorry.
Put it online, or you're advertising education website.
I can send that to Vernon to have it.
Ask Jordan.
Yep, I can do that. Good idea. I already talked about the conversion over to the new credit card processing system.
And that's to take payments for permits.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're putting everything in there. We kind of batted around just doing the credit cards, but we're also doing any cash or checks. That way, all of the financial data is coming off of one report.
And we as a county don't have one company that we go with for credit card processing.
I believe we do.
Okay.
Virginia did the conversion with her department, and we were underneath hers, and this particular company we have our own credit card reader. We're ready to go. We're all set up.
And we're collecting the fees that they're gonna charge us, just like Kelly does, or.
Correct.
Okay.
3%.
And we did before, we would just
Okay.
do it on both systems if it was a credit card.
Okay.
And now we're doing it all off of the credit card system, all in one. It's a very nice system. Good choice that was made, making that change. I attended the annual Colorado Professional On-Site Waste Education Conference. It was a great event. I had never been, so it was nice to put a face with a name with some of the contacts that I have, especially at the state level. I did get information that they are in the process of updating the state regulations for the on-site waste management systems that they're planning on rolling out in 2025. I'm hoping that I'm going to try to get on one of their subgroups, and that subgroup is going to look at the possibility of, I know composting toilets in the Board of Health meeting has come up quite a bit. They're looking at if you have a composting toilet that is attached to which it has to be attached to your septic system, they're looking at the possibility of reducing the size of that septic system. The field. I'm really excited about that. I think that if we can get something along that line, it may help our lots that are small acre or less lots. I'm hoping that I can get some of that information. I've reached out to my state contact already, but it's still in the preliminary stages and a lot of things to be worked out. So I'm hoping to get on that subcommittee so I can stay on top of that. I think that would be a win-win for us in a lot of situations.
That
all finalized, at least then you have a little more accurate data to deal with the composting toilets, because that's been an issue, correct?
And they can
On
have a
whether they're-
composting toilet, it just has to be connected to to a septic system. So it really doesn't, kind of defeats the purpose. And depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, how do you connect it? What washes through?
Yeah, it's just connected like a regular
What
toilet.
is a toilet?
Yeah,
So some of them, yeah, go down to the septic system. Some of them have trays. And you pull the tray out and you get rid of the water or the liquid part. So
it has,
not all composting toilets are able to be hooked up to a septic system.
it has to be that type of
Yeah.
composting toilet. But if that can allow those lots out there to have the ability to have a full septic system, that will be wonderful for a lot of them, because right now it's, you know, we have one that's a full-time resident out there and he's having to get his holding tank pumped every 3 weeks or every 3 months at least.
It'd be interesting to see the logic on how that saves water and, you know, when. It just doesn't make logical sense right now. I'd have to see how that happens.
And I don't know that, I think what their logic in this is that if they can, if the
Run it
the
through
composting
compost first, and
toilet
it
is
does
going
come.
down and it's composting most of it, it can be a smaller field, a leach field.
It's kind of-
So if we can meet our setbacks and have a smaller leach field, I think several of those lots out at the lake could convert over to a full system.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. So I'm keeping my eye on that one.
Okay.
I did it. I sent over an email to one of the things I kind of picked up that was really interesting. And there were several things, but a lot of the state departments or local governments that were given reports, one of the things that they were talking about was short-term rentals, big, long conversation and how that affects the out system. What came out of that I thought was very interesting was that a lot of counties are looking at the possibility of using short-term rentals as emergency housing in case of a disaster. So I sent that information on to Jennifer and Robin. I think Robin's familiar with the process in regards to that. I think that's something maybe we can work towards in the future. I attended the public meeting last night about Lake Deweese and the toxic algae. Picked up a little bit of information there. I think the meeting was a great meeting because it educated our residents in that area and kind of help them understand that there's really no one thing that's going to fix the blue algae issue out there. So it's kind of my report in a nutshell. Do you guys have any questions?
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
And there he is. I didn't see you come in, Brian. Come on up, sir.
He snuck in 2 hours ago.
It's quiet back there.
How's it going today?
See you, Brian.
Kelly? Good. Let's see. Operations are normal as usual. Still waiting for the state, obviously, to approve the area fill portion of the landfill, which will give us 30 more years once it is approved. It does get approved. And we did receive the letter of approval to put waste in trench line.
Yeah.
So right now, the lifespan of the landfill is about a year and 3 months estimated. So that's good. We got some time. Four Rivers came and got our new loader, the 724P. Since we had it originally, when we first got it, we were having issues with the hydraulic pump. Not sure exactly what was going on, but once it sits overnight, bleeds pressure off that hydraulic tank. It takes about an hour for that tank to get enough pressure till it doesn't cavitate the pump. And so they're gonna swap the pump and see if that fixes it. So I think they finally dug in enough, had found some other issues with some other loaders. And so that's kind of what they came up with. Unfortunately, they have to take the cab off to get to that pump, so they had to go down. And of course, this is all under warranty, so better to get it fixed than.
They didn't bring you a loaner though.
No, they didn't. Well, that's why we got the H still, so which is good. I did get an email from Cameron Blue, the engineer. He's gonna reach back out to Jill regarding the EDOP for the, I got that email this morning
For the area fill.
for the area fill. And then we've got, he's gonna have to send, his name's, Matt Cashmere. That's not my report because I just got that email this morning, but he's gotta come and check out trench D, to see if we've got enough topsoil and cap that trench. And then if we do, then we have to get it surveyed, and then hopefully we'll get it seeded this year.
So what's the big picture then on the area fill then? Does that sound like something's happening? Don't
The
know.
last I saw with the email that Jill sent me and Cameron, they need to talk about the liner, alternative liner. So I don't know exactly what that means. The trenches, all the trenches out there they don't have liners
Right.
in them, so I don't know. The idea is just to strip all the topsoil off and just start placing trash. So that's what the EDOP says. It doesn't mention anything about a liner, so I think that's what their conversation is gonna be about whenever that happens. I don't know. I tried calling Cameron this morning, he didn't answer, so. And Jill, of course, doesn't answer.
Never answer.
Right, so.
Answers to me.
I think a lot of that, correct me if I'm wrong, is because of the amount of clay that we've got.
Correct. Yeah, so you get down about 20 feet, that material, it just won't let any water through it. I mean, it sits there until it evaporates or you pump it out, but, so. But this being the draw back there, not a trench, I don't know, that's
Probably
probably,
Do we have to dam up and keep damming up as we keep moving
I don't believe so,
to
to the west,
yeah.
we'll start in the east and work our way to the
East goes
west.
down.
So not in 2023, but 2022, we stripped that first portion of what we call the area fill. We went ahead and stripped it because we had extra time with that scraper and had it surveyed. So we are ready for that. Because you can't strip it all at once. It's so big.
Yeah.
You got to do it in sections. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
We done any nuclear compaction testing on what we stripped?
So the engineers, they dug all kinds of holes out there and, did all their soil work and stuff. Yeah, right. That's already part of the EDOP. Okay, yeah, that's all in there. That document's like 600 some
So it's
pages.
just now whether she accepts it or
Correct.
the state accepts it or whether they want any changes.
Right.
To what we've done. Okay.
I don't know why it's taken so long, but I mean, it is a large document.
Okay.
So that's
They're
why
gonna wait till a month before we need it or 2 months.
Yeah, well, at least we got the letter for Trench I,
Yeah.
so, and we still probably have a month before we're gonna get into Trench I. So, yeah. Estimated a year and 3 months, but it might be more than that. So, yeah, that's all I got.
At least there's more movement going.
Yeah,
On trench eye, once it's full,
Yeah.
do you just use the loader to top it with soil for the time being until you can? bring in
alternate
the
go,
next-
yeah, or the scraper, depending on, depending on the area fill, we can use a scraper it's much easier to cap them trenches with a scraper than it is a loader.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah, for sure a bunch.
right. And I've got to actually send a letter to Jill about the caps on the trenches, but I'm not gonna send it until she reaches out to me. I mean, I think it's just kind of getting crazy, lack of communication. But I've got the letter prepared, I just gotta change a few things in it.
Okay.
So, anyway. That's all I got.
Good.
Okay.
Thanks, Brian.
Yep. Have a good day.
Recycling, I guess, is,
Break time.
break time. We'll take a short recess. Okay, the time is now 10:34 a.m. I will reconvene this BOCC meeting. Our next item would be the recycling report. That will be just a written report here this morning.
Does look like the price of recycled materials is going up.
The see the aluminum and the steel, they change every day, I think, probably.
And it does, from talking to Tim Harmon, it looks like, it's already starting to pick up, so. Kind of some of the downturn we thought maybe we'd have isn't as bad as what we thought it would be, so people are still. Starting to get behind the bandwagon, I guess, especially with cardboard, so.
See somebody pulled some cardboard out over here out of the dumpster to get it put in the trailer over there as well. Any questions? Anything else?
I'm good. No, no. All right,
Steve continues to do a good job.
he does. Both those guys do.
They did.
Their hearts are in it, hearts, minds. They are in it, there's no doubt.
That was just kind of a standing length. That's why I made that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I sent a text to Laura, but she's not here yet.
That's not services.
She might have done.
Christie is walking across the street.
And, Robin will not be here.
Robin won't be here.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, they're not coming over here.
She didn't say, and so that's why I didn't put written on hers only, because I wasn't sure if Jennifer was coming or not.
Well, since Laura's not here yet, and Christie just walked in. Hello?
Can I make a comment about recycling?
State
It's
your
something,
name.
it's
State your
just
name.
something to share that Big Blue arrived into Custer County on Thursday for glass recycling. And here it is less than a week, and it is already 1/3 full of glass. So we are very happy to bring Big Blue to the community located in the parking lot at Altitude, and appreciate everyone's participation in keeping glass out of the landfill and putting it in Big Blue. So thank you.
Thank you for that. And that was Deb Adams, I believe, correct?
Yes, it was.
All right,
Sorry.
thank you. Oh, don't go back there, Laura.
You're up.
You're up.
Okay. How is everybody? I don't know where to
Good.
start.
Fine and
We're
wonderful.
hanging in here. Thanks, Laura.
Okay. You have to sit in this nice chair. It doesn't bother my back, so I like that.
No, wait, you said at the big curl, the big table, Kelly?
Big table with the short chair.
Oh. Well, there we go.
Slowly but surely, at least I got the table turned around. Well, I didn't necessarily.
No, I bet you didn't. Did you get a shot yet?
No, I got a meet and greet last Friday.
Ah.
Thank
Getting
you
there.
for asking them.
You're getting there slowly but surely. I don't
That's
know
it.
what this is. It's not mine, is it?
No, it's not.
No, it's a monthly treasure report here. You may need it. Okay, I just have my monthly reports here. I don't have anything that's out of the ordinary going on right now. I don't need you to sign 100 things. Aren't you excited now? I will have a check for you. What time are you leaving today?
I'll be here most of the day.
Okay,
So
again.
I can walk over and get it.
Yeah, I was waiting on something from as verification, and I got that just a little bit ago. So I'll get the check done and then you can sign it before you leave today. Okay, it's an emergency rent for our CSBG grant. So I want to get that out today. So I'll get it over here. Thank you much. So yeah, we don't have, anything out of the ordinary with my reports now. We started a new year. So we're just going along. Do you guys have any questions about anything?
You seen anything uptick that's you didn't expect?
No. We're getting a lot of applications for our emergency programs right about now. CSBG, Energy Outreach Colorado. We're getting a lot of applications for that recently. It's that time of year, people aren't working as much. But outside of that,
How about your LEAP applications? I see they're advertising that on TV and. stuff
yes,
now.
well, we're in the middle of a LEAP review. Would they do that? Every month I have to review cases and send it in to them, but every so many years and they do a LEAP review, which just takes time. We had to send cases in. Then they meet with me, then they meet with the workers, then they meet with me, then they meet with me, and then they meet with me. And I'm like, geez, okay, I think we got this. Yeah.
Very popular.
Yeah, but anyhow, so we're in the middle of doing the LEAP review. But outside of that, I mean, we're just plugging along, doing our TFAB and everything else. We're seeing some upswing in food applications too, SNAP benefits in Medicaid, but that seems to be an ongoing thing. Monthly, we're getting new applications all the time. And my worker's back part-time, yay, so that's helpful. She's coming in 4 hours a day, so she just started last week doing that, so that's been very, very helpful. I have to go see Jen because TFAB needed verification that we have insurance. So if we have a fire, our food burns up, or it'll be insured. And I asked for like in November, but things were hectic here and I didn't get it. So they sent me another thing. So when I get done here, I have to go get that, send it to TFAB. But outside of that, so far, that's about what we got going on. No big questions from you guys? Nope.
No.
Nope. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, that's good. Well, we don't like big questions,
There's because I don't know the right question to ask you, or wait here, I need to dig a little bit.
No, we don't have any of that. No. They ask us on our LEAP review, every review, about civil rights. Do you do civil rights training? And I told her yesterday, we do civil rights training on every program that we do. And so we're doing civil rights training every other month. So yes, we do civil rights trainings, and believe me, yes, we do. But anyhow, okay, then I will let you guys get on with it.
Thank you for taking the trip across.
Oh, it was my pleasure. And I didn't even see your text because something was going on. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh,
So
Got there though.
I did, and apparently I wasn't late.
No, you were right on time.
That had to be a miracle in itself right there.
First time you've been.
Yes, this is true, you know.
Thank you.
All right. So either I'll get over there, or if you don't see me when you need me, just come on back.
Yeah, I'll just come back. We'll work on it here in a little bit, and I'll just kind of keep an eye out for you.
Both fees on.
Admin.
Just admin.
Can I go see Jen through this door?
BOCC admin, right? BOCC admin.
No, I think it's just admin. Let me look.
It doesn't say admin, it says treasurer.
Right here. Give me a second. It's going to say Xerox VersaLink C7130 color MFP. That's what it says on mine, but I think on a laptop, it's going to say admin Xerox something. Evidently not hooking up to mine. And if you want to print something, send it to me and I'll print it.
Okay, that'll take us to Christie, I believe. What'd you do with Dominic today?
He had to go to spring check us some Valentine's streaks.
Nice.
Happy Valentine's Day, by the way.
Yeah, I have his numbers though.
You got them all, huh?
I do.
You have his report to sign. One, Brandon.
This one looks like,
That's that one right there, yes.
This- then I do.
All right.
There you go.
I guess this is all he gave me. That's what I got.
That will be perfect.
There's not a signature block though. Is that right?
So that would not be right.
Oh.
It's very similar to that first page, and it should have a signature block.
There's no signature block.
Okay, we'll have to get with him later then.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So, and this is only his January numbers, because he has had walk-in after walk-in and hasn't had time to do February's yet.
Kind of got behind when he got sick that way.
Yeah, yes. Yep, so for January, he was in 13 of 17 days. We both had the flu for a few days there. He had 40 scheduled appointments, 17 walk-ins, 13 new power of attorneys. So he's up to 101 total power of attorneys. He had 19 intent to files. He's up to 136. And man, this is hard to read. So new increased claims submitted says 14, 93 total, 38 first-time claims to date, 26 total supplemental claims. He's got 2 total high-level reviews, 3 total individual unemployability. He's up to 125 total claims. And so 42 of those have come back. He had those 2 VA debt waivers. One was the 86,000 and one was almost 59,000. So out of the 42 claims that he's got back, that's for 35 individuals. And you guys, listen to this, okay? The increased monthly compensation is $22,483 since August. So the projected increase in compensation for this, like through the end of this fiscal year, just on the claims that have come back, you guys, $269,796.
Over what time period?
So that's the projected increase in compensation from like August when he started through the end of this fiscal year. And that's only for the claims that have come back. Like there's still all these claims out there. So I told him I was gonna ask for an assistant. and a raise. For that.
Dream on.
I think we already know who his assistant is.
Well, I don't have a
Sorry,
calendar though,
Christie.
so like I can't schedule his appointments and stuff. I would.
No, now
Um,
he's doing a lot.
but he is killing it, man. The retro payment so far, is $106,185. Yeah. Okay.
You're the one that says Christie and I are exploring dates.
Yes. For which one? The senior center? Yeah, we'd like to volunteer there once a month. Oh, is he email it to you guys too?
Yeah.
So you have all this? Awesome. Yeah, so
Just hit the highlights for us.
Yeah.
What you think?
I'm his cheerleader over here. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, we have so we do American Legion and VFW updates. Tomorrow we'll be in Wetmore for coffee and walk-in assistance.
I was gonna ask if you were going to Wetmore, Matthew, so that just answered that question.
Tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be there. We are writing grants for the Veterans Trust Fund and Veterans Assistance Grant. It's due the end of the month. So I know he's doing it on behalf of the VSO. We're doing the VFW. I'm doing it for the ranch. And I know the American Legion's also filing for that. We show up to food distributions to see if there's any veterans going through. We have the Mount Carmel. That's not right. Hold on. Yeah, we've done a couple retreats so far. We had the big roundtable thing. I do have another MOU for like the Custer County Veterans Coalition, whatever we're calling the roundtable meeting.
Oh, the connection.
Yeah.
Veterans Connection.
Yeah, so I do have like another MOU with everybody on it. And I've never had one with like that many signees before. So do I meet with you guys individually and say, here's the MOU? Or like there already is an MOU with Mount Carmel and Custer County Commissioners.
Right.
So do we just roll with that? What do we do?
So that was initiated by Sal Katz, I believe, right?
Yeah.
The second one here.
Yes.
And he had all the players listed there, but only signatures lines for just a few of them. And my comment was to him, you need to, if those volunteer organizations are gonna be part of that MOU, then they need to have signature lines as well. And probably it'd be best to go get all those and then come here. And correct me if I'm wrong, but then come here and have the Board of Commissioners finalize that.
Maybe run it by the county attorney before you start getting signatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe.
Seems to me you could have one document. If you listed everybody that wants to play in the game,
Yeah.
then you just had one document that says that, and then that we agree that we'll work with these organization or whatever the statement needs to be, rather than a separate MOU with one everyone. So
Yeah.
that would be my thought.
Okay. So we'll plan
Run that
for,
or whatever words you want by.
And you've got it. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
I'm done.
And you do have a copy of that now, right?
Yeah.
So if we could get a copy of that to Dan, so for his review.
Yeah.
Before you did a lot of groundwork on it.
We
Might
like
save you from doing it twice,
right.
if we have to make any changes to it.
Okay, and then that's plenty of time. Like, we don't even have the next roundtable scheduled yet, so. We'll do that next time, I
Okay.
guess. Yeah, all right, you guys have all this. We do lots of outreach. We show up.
Might
and-
mention, that. Deal out at the Pines. Coming up.
Yes, August 24th is Mount Carmel fundraiser, and literally all we have so far is the date and the location. Mount Carmel has a events coordinator. She'll be out next Friday, staying at the Pines, getting the sights, the smells, the taste of the town. I don't even think she's ever been to Westcliff. So she's gonna put her party planning hat on. And then we'll get some more stuff planned.
How's the copies going on Wednesday mornings?
Good. We get, I'm telling you, somebody new every single week, averaging about 10 people. But yeah. You guys get it. Just,
Yeah, I just thought I'd have you mention that, just
yeah,
anybody that might be listening or something, give them a heads up on it.
August 24th at the Pines. Bring your checkbooks. Yeah, so all the money though stays in Custer County for Custer County veterans. So it's not going to Colorado Springs, Mount Carmel, or Pueblo. Stays here.
Right.
Thank you.
Anything from you then? Anything from you, or did you just kind of incorporate that all in there?
Yeah, it's all the same thing. Do you guys know, is there like a Toastmasters club around here? Cause Sal has me scheduled to speak and stuff, and you know how I am. I'm very soft-spoken.
You did fine. I mean, you did fine. Whatever you did, let's look at that.
Down there at the bowling alley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing fine. Just
You,
keep talking.
The more you practice.
Bring it up from the
better you get.
diaphragm.
Is that
You did really fine, and they piled a lot on you, so.
Yeah,
So, let's keep it up.
all right, I'll work on it.
Thank you
Thanks, guys.
very, very much.
Yes,
You get an airport written report.
No.
you guys.
Yeah.
All right, can you bring the snacks back when you get it? I can do that.
Well, thank you for those treats.
Yep.
And again, happy
Enjoy.
Valentine's Day. Emergency management, we do have a written report. I'm gonna assume since Jennifer is not here, that it will just be the written.
Yeah, Clyde, did you guys send in a written report for us today?
It's in your packet.
Oh, you sent it to Kelly? It's there. He's right.
It's not in. It's
I
not
don't see it on
this
here.
morning.
Okay, we got it. Kelly bet she got it. So thanks, Clyde. Bye.
see it.
Is it where what? Is it separate?
Yeah, because he sent it in.
Yeah, he said he sent it to
Yeah.
you. See OEMs here, but I don't see the airport.
Not in today's packet. Was it in the other one you sent?
Oh.
Like a little suggestion box in there. I guess Matt's working on that, though, right?
So, yeah, we needed that ordered. And then I'm hoping we can make it part of our HR software, that it's, they're available, right? Because we put a box here. Well, great, that's available to the people that are around here, but we do for road and bridge, we do for landfill. Because so I think what I'm trying to do and what I've already talked to Paychecks a little bit about is they can make a whistleblower box. That's all part of our HR software portal that every employee has access to, not just the few that are here. So that's what eventually I want to go to.
So a virtual box rather than a physical box.
Yeah, yeah. And then those would all get funneled to the HR director and probably Dan as well, so. But I don't want to bombard Dan Slater's inbox.
We have an HR director now.
I don't like Lucas F or whatever. And it,
HR is gonna feel all.
he already knows that.
Is, Robin, did they already attend that, meeting that she has at the end of the report here? The, OEM, Emergency Management Conference, SEMA, I think that was already taking place, wasn't
I think that's this week.
it? It's not where they are now.
No, except for March 26th, so not. There is, I thought they were gone, I can't.
I think they're at that conference in Love. Okay,
We will get that, money moved around, for 23 on that grant funding.
So they're at the annual state emergency manager conference at the present.
Yes.
That's right, that's right. I'm fine with what they got, this stuff they had before, plus.
I don't have any.
Okay. And then we lost the airport.
I'm getting it.
Oh, you found it?
Mhm.
There you go.
Well, thank you.
It should pop up in your email in a minute here. It only has to go from there to there.
That'll take 3 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seems like it.
it does.
Look at that, there it is.
There it
Did
is.
you get it?
We got something here.
He sent it in two different, he sent me one email that said, I won't be there, I'll send you my report, and I must have, when he sent the report, I just must have.
Hmm.
Well, I downloaded that one.
Okay, airport manager.
And so they're going. We talked about it last month, but they're going off of their gauge rather than physically sticking the tanks, is that correct?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
so.
because it's so
Yep.
accurate. That's more than accurate. Certified.
And what, all we need is end of every month. And basically end December's, and then that gets audited based upon fuel sales, they say. So.
Yeah.
That'll kind of help out the airport's audit.
Business picking up for some reason in the wind and cold, $2,400 worth of fuel sold. A 1,000 gallons on it, 6.
Well. We'll sell a lot of gallons of fuel when you take your private jet to France.
Yeah. I'll tank it up.
Fixed it, eh?
Big plane. I think the hot 6s would make it.
Yeah. We might have to stop a few times, fuel up. but-
Trouble is, do you take off out of a high altitude airport, you can't fill up.
No, you can't, can you?
Whoops. But I had it off. I made a call and it came up.
Yeah, they'll have another Angel flight, go out in March. So. For a citizen, so.
So what are they gonna do about the overfilled cracks?
They'll probably have.
Well, right now, what they're doing is, they're skimming them. And they have an agreement with PMS to come in and paint them and clean them up. That's why we withheld the 25%. And so they'll do that, but they have to wait till it's warm. That's why, and they did clean up and, the other stuff that was around, so. PMS agreed to it all and they're trying to protect their reputation too. So. Other than that, I can't tell you anything else. That's new. The end guy.
Where did we get the Native Americans?
Oh,
The
the-
import.
they still want to sell it. The realtor is getting me, they're trying to put together what they're gonna present to us, or the realtor.
Okay.
Sell it back to the county.
So basically sell the lease back.
No, it never was a lease. They had a swap. Whoever agreed to it in the past, it was transferred to Redmond. And then Redmond had it in his, when the Indian Nation bought the ranch, it included that deed. Apparently, that's what they're trying to straighten out.
Okay.
So it never was a lease. We thought it was. We thought it was a free lease, maybe 100-year lease, but it wasn't. That's back when the private airport, when they did that piece of ground separated out.
So that answers that question as far as gathering that for the lease. Then.
Yeah, you don't need it for the lease. That's what I told them, and or you can just claim 0 on to rectify it, enter 0, and then we spent 0. I don't know how to straighten it up. It's not really a lease. It's
No.
piece of ground is owned by a private citizen right now,
Okay.
that being the Indian Nation.
All right. I don't have anything further on that.
Runway lights and stuff will be a work in progress, I'm assuming then. Whenever time and volunteers are available.
Say that again.
Runway lights,
Yeah, they've got them stored, they're inside, and they got them all, and they have that. They're gonna come up with the plan when to install them, how to install them. And we'll put them in irrespective of widening the runway, they'll be able to do it wide enough so that if we ever do get a grant or whatever to extend 10 feet on each side of the runway, they'll do that. Not necessary.
they won't be in the way.
No.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, that takes care of staff reports. We have no unfinished business. New business would be consideration and approval of the accounts payable. You have a physical report.
I do. So the only question I have, what is the card services charging, you know,
Where are you looking at?
like 4 down on the first page, or 10, 6, 7, 8, 10.
On which page?
First page, page 1 of 3.
On the fourth line down?
No, it's countdowns, item 4391, 75, 401. So
That
it's
is
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
one
6,
that
7.
Vernon uses, I believe, for a lot of the programs that's through the IT department and with the other departments is that he furnishes to other departments, if I'm not mistaken.
It's not a credit card.
I'll look.
There's a credit card,
It is. So it's a card,
card services.
that's the name of a company? Or is that,
No.
I think that's how
it's-
it comes up
yeah.
in the vendor report.
And that's who we have to make it, like
Huh.
when I go to pay my credit card bill, I make it to card services, that's who the check gets made out to. It just says card services.
And so this will be a consolidated report from all the departments for that. And And we've got the same style report as we did last month because of issues with CRC, I think.
Hey Vernon, this is Lucas. Hey, on the AP check registry run that we just had, we have something called card services. Okay, all right. I just wanted to check sure. And so that would be a total of all the cards, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to have to someday, I'm not saying today, but we're gonna have to change that. And I think that's what we're gonna get to naming the cards or the individual accounts on a card for the utility, for the whatever. Maybe per the department, so that we don't have, what is card services, right? I mean. Okay. Okay, yeah, we should maybe attach that to this until we get that straightened out. No. Thank you, sir. All right, thanks. So, yeah, that is pulling all the credit card payments that have been made into one. So here going forward, until we get those separated out.
Separated, you'll have an account and then pulling it off.
We'll run a separate report for what's on that card,
Makes sense.
or what's being charged, or what's being
Or
paid by
when
that
they-
card. Yeah, in which department, so.
And we have been getting a bit of breakdown on that.
My reimbursement here is for sheriff's department's, personnel to go to a conference. So
Okay.
that's why the reimbursement is to me, to use my card when Patrick shut down 3 days before, so, or a week before, whatever it was.
Yeah, remember that you had let them use your card.
Mhm.
Do we know who? Symbol Arts. For who that was through.
Um. I looked at it, but I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember. After a while, you look at too much.
You
stuff.
look at too many and then you can't remember which one's which. I understand that. Any other questions on that?
No,
This one does have the Furno bed for the. Second bed for the second coroner vehicle, the deputy coroner vehicle. That's on the front, 2 lines from the bottom. That's probably the biggest
Biggest one we have.
expenditure on here.
I saw that when it got delivered. Any other questions?
I don't have any. Good.
I would entertain a motion.
I move we accept the accounts payable. How do you want to state that? Report. Presented for the amount of $119,000, $877.19. $19,877.19.
Motion, do I have a second?
A second,
Discuss it.
I would like to. Have it amended to include the AP wire registry on there as well.
For $4,298.03.
Yeah.
Right there. Oh, that one. Yeah, we should have included that. How come it was separate?
Because those are wire transfers.
And not physical checks.
Oh,
Those are the ones we pay online.
okay,
To
good.
include, and what was it for?
It's Sanger to Crystal Electric and Amazon Capital Services,
Oh.
direct charges. Wired,
Okay,
or payments, I should say.
thank you for that. Any other discussion?
Nope.
All right,
So I will amend the motion to include that. He amended this second.
public comment. Seeing and hearing none, I have a motion on the floor to approve the accounts payable in the sum of $119,877.19, as well as the AP wire register in the sum of $4,298.03. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. That motion carries. Next item would be the consideration of approval for payroll training from CIC. You bringing that, or was Jen gonna bring that, or?
I think Jen was gonna bring it, but that's okay. So. Yeah, see if she's here.
So what, the question I would have is, how does this fit with us farming out payroll?
Well, exactly right. And that is, but,
And we haven't
that was gonna happen,
before,
yeah.
waited a long time.
Basically in January, and it didn't happen, or 1st of February, and that got pushed off now till maybe the end of March even. I don't remember the specific dates, but, yeah, if that's going to,
Hmm.
if that's not what we want to do going forward, because we do plan on, here.
Outsourcing
soon,
payroll.
outsourcing the payroll. Then maybe we don't need to do it, so.
But I would suggest.
Would you come up with,
She's coming in.
okay.
No sense wasting money from CIC.
No, I don't think it's exactly cheap either. Something or somewhere around there. I don't remember the date. I don't remember the exact money amount.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Well, why don't we, while we're waiting on her, we'll take a quick recess in case somebody needs to get up and move around, and when she comes, we'll address this.
Oh, here she is.
Never mind. We will continue on.
Good.
You have some questions?
Just quick.
Just on the consideration. For this CIC payroll training. When is the
You
training?
shake.
So they're
Okay.
hoping for mid-March is the next soonest availability. The problem is it depends on when we get that exhibit signed and sent over to them. They will not hold that spot for me.
Do you know what it costs?
$6,000
$6,000.
for 40 hours of training, and it can include multiple people if we need it, like for cross training.
So this would be for people entering time too, right?
No, this is payroll only. I know.
So when would we be rolling into ADP or paychecks?
Soon as
You
we
got
would
it
sign a contract with
Right.
them.
And you've already have you had both of them interviewed down or?
Paychecks all the way through for the most part. ADP still, they want to meet next at the end of next week for their technology show. So maybe get their conversion factor nailed down.
So when did CIC want money now to hold your spot?
They need a half deposit down to hold the spot and then the balance when we are satisfied with the training and the results.
And they want like 30, I think if I remember right, when Lisa went out, it was 30 days in advance of the date. Or something like
They're
that.
trying to get me in as soon as possible.
Okay,
Um,
but that was just the earliest they had available, right?
yes, we missed the next week's schedule because they had to open it up to somebody else. Like I said, I don't know if March's mid-month schedule is still available. They were gonna try to hold it. I told them I would get them an answer and the exhibit signed this week if it was approved, but then I would let them know. So
What do you feel, if you just went for training, how much would you need to get you trained?
well, it's for the full 40 hours. I don't know that they can break that down into like bits and pieces. I can ask them.
Are you having problems with payroll doing it with what we got then?
With our system and what
Well, I
no
know you have problems
training,
with the system, don't answer.
with the no training. Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of stuff that,
So how have we been able to make the payroll? Is it accurate?
so CIC has graciously walked me through January's payroll at no charge. I know that seems like a lot, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't. They had someone on standby for me. They couldn't be on the phone the entire time, but then we would do a screen share so they could see what was going on. The downside is even with that remote help, we had payroll issues.
Yeah. So when's the next class if you miss this one?
If I miss the mid-March, it would probably be the following month.
Okay.
I haven't asked for anything past the soonest because I'm going to miss another. I have another payroll coming up before that training.
Okay, if we paid half to hold the spot, can we get it back if we decide not to do it?
I would have to ask.
Cause to me,
I sent the exhibit to y'all,
I
so
think it's a
I'm not,
waste of money if we're gonna really roll it over.
It is, but are they gonna give her, I mean,
That's what I mean.
I hope that they give you
And
assistance
and
through.
is there, what's the, yeah, that's right, what is the conversion time? There may be a couple more months on CIC without. I don't know, you don't know enough about that. but-
With the unknowns out there,
4 to 12 weeks, it's anywhere from that. That's fairly typical, but
and we haven't actually made a decision to go the other route. And
No, we still have to do that.
with the
Is
conversion
it-
time
is
and
it-
everything else.
410s, or is it, you can pick,
they didn't give me specifics on that. They just said it
One
was
day a
for
week.
40 hours and I'm like, I need to get this done sooner than later. I'd like to at least touch on a little bit more in depth than the basics, because the basics are the basics
Yeah,
and, you know, we did manage to get payroll out. It did have its hiccups. It wasn't entirely wrong. People got their paychecks. There's some things we have to tweak. Some of it is on the back end that doesn't affect the employees.
Did
But
everybody get
but
their
it affects
W-2s?
my
Did-
job.
Did the W-2s have a problem?
No, I talked to them about that and it wasn't a CIC thing. There were a couple of,
Cause there were several that didn't get them, I guess, or something.
they got them or they didn't give me the right mailing address. I
Oh,
did get a
okay.
few back. So I'm going to call them and get that taken care of as far as them not getting them.
Do you have that document by chance?
I can print it off. I sent it off to an email for y'all to look at earlier, but that would have been like Thursday because I was hoping that y'all would have had a chance to look at it before today.
That's why I was asked.
So, but if you want, I can go pull it up and print it off.
we have at least probably 2 more payrolls before we would be fully, and most of them did talk about it's best to start a quarter when you make that conversion.
On the quarter.
on a quarter, right?
So we're in the middle
So
of
January,
one now.
February, March, April, May, June. July would be the quarter that we would start that on. Because it involves bank drafts, from the account. Their structure to get everybody's.
Yeah.
Everybody's information into their software.
Yeah.
Into their program and get that all set up, do a trial run. So.
Well, just from a 100,000 foot view, we've had a lot of problems with CIC. And it seems to me when we bought it, did the training to understand payroll, which is a critical part in any kind of thing, did the training, was that included? Why wasn't it?
That I don't know, because that
It
was
should be. I
prior
mean,
to me. I
You
do
can't sell it to
know,
somebody without teaching them how to do it.
I do know that being put in this position and Vernon and I going through it, CIC extensively. Yes, any software is gonna have hiccups.
And that's
Is it
why I
all
think-
entirely CIC? No, I
Yeah.
don't think so. Some of the stuff hasn't been set up correctly for whatever reason. This isn't a blame game.
No,
It's
no,
just,
but it's
it's,
just facts.
right.
And you did great. I mean, you're doing great with doing, I think saying graciously, accepted us, that helped me. They owe it to us to help us. And so that's why I think $6,000 more. But it is $6,000 is worth it if we can't pay paychecks, because.
But it's, yeah, I mean,
We can still get our employees paid. It's just, like I said, some of the issues are on the backside that affect my job. But we can straighten it out. I have put in several tickets to CIC to help walk me through fixing some
think we gotta
of
keep
the
pushing.
weird nuances. So, but they do know that getting our bills paid and getting
Right, that-
our
And
employees paid
that's a new
is
system.
important.
And it's been 2 years, good grief.
Well, I think there was a lot of training on the front end of this to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Which
Well-
was probably included with that purchase price. This is new people farther down the road, so I don't know what that contract looks like.
so we gotta remember that. CIC has changed owners
Yeah.
within the last 6 months or whatever,
That's their
they've been 7 months and. Company changeovers like that is usually never for the better.
That's right, and that's not my problem, it's theirs, they need to follow through. And new people are not, it never gotten instituted, it's never been part of the system yet.
Right, and I think we keep marching forward on outsourcing payroll because
Yeah.
then we get rid of that bolt-on program. Time cards that's bolted on to CIC, get rid of that, and get the money back from that. Or don't pay that.
Everybody that's done outsourcing it raved about it, school systems and others, so we can cross that bridge when you get all the data. Meantime, we just you're doing a good job hammering on them. That they owe it to us, they need to train you as you go along.
Let's get it set up and then I'll start going through that contract and I'll see, hey, and with Dan and go. You guys, is the contract set up to provide us? Training with every new employee, or was it just the initial employees,
But
or?
they never got it going in the first place, right? See, that's the issue.
We don't know that, but that's not what,
Well,
No,
that's what she said.
no, she
No.
said she wasn't here.
Well, yeah, that's
So
true.
she doesn't, we don't have that in.
And meaning setup, meaning people being set up inside the system
Yeah,
correctly,
I
our
get-
employees, right?
Yeah, I get.
We might have the wrong dollar amount, we might have the parameters set wrong. So,
Well, that's a good point. So I think, yeah, do that, take a look, and then we can decide to pay the money if we're gonna have to later. You can hold that. Yeah, find out if they're gonna reimburse us the 3,000 if we give them $3,000 now. We can do that.
find that out, Jen,
Okay.
and, find out what the final date is to keep that date in
Slot.
March.
well, they're holding it for me through this week.
Okay.
Because I told them that we were gonna bring it before you guys to discuss.
And then we can get the answer today, probably.
Right, so I can,
Let's go forward with it, and then we'll dig through the contract, and then we can go back, the contract's not right, we can go back to CIC and say, hey, your contract says this. Why are you now charging us? We have a new employee who's taking over payroll. You should be there, this is part of our contract to train all new employees, even whether it's on, this was a 10-year contract, or this is every year that.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Yeah, I'm good with
Okay.
that.
and but
Make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we pay up front the $3,000 to CIC for payroll training, with the other half to be paid upon satisfaction of training, unless we find in the contract that there's something different. Yeah. So
Find out if we can get reimbursed.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing none. Public comment? Seeing none, I have a motion on the floor to approve the payroll training at CIC for the initial payment of $3,000. The second half of that upon satisfaction that the training was adequate, unless something shows up to negate that in the original contract. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. That motion carries. Thank you very much.
Like the AP now.
You may-
That's the plan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Okay, this last agenda item is, I put on here, we need
I'll
to.
get to it here in just a
I
second.
thought you were ready.
I was, but I haven't announced it yet.
Okay.
So we have the discussion of the BOCC admin assistant. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you. We've got applications, we've not gone through, and we've got a new HR person. I did talk to him, Bob, about grabbing a hold and preparing the interview questions and tailoring it toward the admin position as well. And so all I intended here was to have us pick a day that we want to interview them. That's here in the future.
Was he going to vet them by chance? Or just come up with questions?
No, you're coming up with the questions first, so then what we can do is decide process. Unless you want to do that now, I'd like to have him vet them and throw out ones that he sees that are not eligible. That'll be fine. But I think, I don't remember how many we had. I think there's 3 or 4. There's 3 at least.
Yeah, maybe there's 3.
There's 3.
Know of 2, but, and there's a possibility of someone being interested as a 3rd, but that there was 2 originally, or 1, 2 originally, and there was one that applied for 2 different positions.
Right.
Yeah, there's that, and then there was another one, and then they had to walk in. So that's all I know of right now.
So then what maybe we do then, let's just let me talk to him and let's have him vet it. Let's see how many we have. And then decide how a date.
Okay.
So and we need to do it sooner. I think you'll be able to get that done this week. We might be able to handle doing that at the end of the month, maybe.
Okay.
Put it on the agenda to have a discussion on that and pick workshop.
Okay.
Okay.
End of months tentatively.
Yeah.
All right.
All I got.
Anything else on that?
No.
Any additional items of business, gentlemen?
No.
Hearing none, that will take us to public comment. Mr. Gilbert.
James Gilbert, let's see, a couple of things. One is, I don't know how to go about this, but I'll just throw out the comment that I found it personally, and I'm sure others have, that it is very difficult to drive the paved portions of Copper Gulch Road at night because there's no, fog lines on the sides. The difference between the color of the pavement and the color of the ditch is almost exactly the same. So I don't know if that's something you guys will just stew over and maybe bring up later,
You're
but
talking on the chip seal parts,
yeah, the paved parts,
Paved,
not the dirt parts, because I don't think you would want.
you still, you can't, yeah, you still have the same
By the
problem.
time you grade it, it'd be gone.
Yeah, so I'm not talking about that. The other thing was, if you may have noticed from previous meetings, I'm kind of interested in seeing how the candidate committee process works for the finance director. I was encouraged to hear that the committee met on Monday, even though that was promised for Thursday or Friday, but this is West Cliff time, not necessarily real time. So just for my information, if you can confirm then, since the committee met on Monday, that the committee, the 6 NDAs are in place. That meeting included the all 6 members having had the redacted candidates applications. And then with respect to the qualitative decision, I guess, that suggests the upper end of the salary range, I assume the committee, or at least a majority of them, must have recommended that. If you continue to advertise. And then a question, if you can answer it, I think you probably can, is whether or not out of that half a dozen or whatever number of candidates, if any, were recommended by the committee to move forward to the interview process.
Would you want to respond?
Sure. Yes, one out of the 6 that they did. We still have one left that haven't looked at that we currently have.
One just came in Tuesday.
Right. And we'll have them look at too. So what the HR or Bob Smith is doing, he's holding on to the recommendations. We haven't seen them. They haven't been forwarded to us to look, and the reason for that is and they were all assigned a letter, and so they all were redacted, and the redactions included everything that was necessary that isn't public available for the public by law. And that's why, and with discussions with the HR world, including our HR person working with the CTSI guys and CCI, that was determined that the redactions didn't, because of what they are, didn't require an NDA, because that there's nothing there that the public can't already have. Everything's taken out, like reference names, like addresses, like phone numbers, like names of the applicant, and all those kinds of things. And then the next step, they did make a recommendation to pay more because of what they saw is the kind of applicants that we got initially willing to work for that pay. We haven't had a discussion yet to decide what to do about that yet until we see these last 2, what they say about those last 2. Maybe one's good enough. Or maybe the one that was they did forward one that they said was marginally acceptable. That was their words. And Kelly was there. I don't know whether that was the recommendation from the panel, I think is the way it was couched to me, that entire panel. And the recommendation to up the pay was also a recommendation of the panel on this first round. So let's see, and so he's gonna hold them. We'll see what comes in. We are still advertising, and we went one step further, Jim. We advertised it on the professional organization called what is it? CP. It's a website of professional accountants that they have that gets a broader audience of actually people that are accountants. So that might get a more qualified person in here too. And maybe willing to come to a smaller town, and with even if the manpower is what it is. So that's I think that answers all your questions, Jim.
Answers them all and raises one, so, if I could reclaim my time, as they say in Congress.
I don't know, there you go.
Um,
That was my time. I took up maybe too much
Yeah,
time.
so then based upon what you said, that the applications have been redacted sufficiently that that material is all publicly available, therefore you don't need NDAs.
It was upon a
Implies to
Cora
me-
request, that's what they would do, and that's what would be given to the public anyway, that's.
So if I felt like it, I could fill out a Cora request and get those applications before. we consider-
Not until.
That's not necessarily the opinion of the county attorney,
That's
so
right.
let's just be clear that hasn't.
And it wouldn't be.
But I don't understand.
Well,
you said.
what they said was once these, I'll have to get our new HR guy in here to explain it, but. Once the person is selected. All those applications are public. Cora will request them.
For the final.
For the final.
For the selected,
Correct.
yes.
But what you just said
And they-
was the redacted candidates
Right,
don't need an NDA because that information is all public.
I do
No.
not believe that that we made a decision to drop that requirement that we placed on that. So we,
that was the recommendation of the HR world, and that's what we ran by in order to get the first ones, evaluated.
So you dropped the NDA for that first
Right.
round.
Yeah,
I don't remember doing that.
I did. But that was
You did that.
that was the recommendation, no, that's the recommendation, that was the process, I'm sorry.
No, the process was to have NDAs.
Well, let me get Bob in here to explain.
Well, the process was to have
Okay, well,
NDAs, that's what.
we're getting into a
your
lot of back
information
and forth
was.
now.
When, last Wednesday, okay. And then you didn't answer the question about the majority of the committee suggested moving the upper range higher.
I did, that was a recommendation from that panel, they said we, that was the word they used. Believe that in order to get it,
So we is four.
the panel
or six.
6. So, and we haven't had a chance to look at that or make any decision on that yet.
Okay. Any other public comment at this time? Okay. Not seeing any online. That being the case, I will adjourn this meeting at 11:40.